island in order to produce as much guano as possible, because the seals were possibly detrimental to the seabirds there in terms of predation and competition for breeding space. So they were kept off the islands, and these islands were exclusively seabird colonies. This harvesting of guano from the islands probably had a negative effect on the seabirds, because they scraped all the habitat away. You'll see information on that in some of these posters here. They scraped all the guano and all the materials off the island that the seabirds could build nests with. And that and other changes to the ecosystem caused the seabird numbers to decrease. These are penguins and gannets in Namibia. You can see a long-term decline happening there. So the situation of most locally breeding seabirds is not too good. Some of them are, at least the African penguin is endangered. The gannet is vulnerable, and this is an example of Halifax Island, a penguin island, about 50 or 80 years ago, just full of penguins, and the same island today. So you can see a major difference. So a question is, with the seal population increasing, some of them are starting to recolonize, or trying to recolonize the islands that they did inhabit before. But a problem is that there are interactions between seabirds and seals. These are not new interactions. They happened in the past when seabirds and seals inhabited the same islands before Europeans came, but there must have been some kind of balance. At the moment, with seabird numbers very low, the effects of seals can be quite devastating. This is a seal pictured at Lambert's Bay colony. Usually the seals prey on seabirds in the water, but some of them have even learned to go on land and do it there. Besides the birds that they take, it has a devastating effect on the colony, a seal running through the colony. And here we see a seal taking I think it's a young gannet in the water. So one of the management dilemmas at the moment is, with seals trying to get back to the islands. Do you let them go back? Do you try and let the islands be restored to a situation that they were 400 years ago, or do you accept that it's a very changed ecosystem? Seabirds are not doing well, they're declining, and we need to try and keep seals apart from seabirds. That's quite a burning topic at the moment. It has been for quite a long time. Now, I want to go through some of the other threats to seabirds, to seals during their whole lifetime. When it gets very hot, seals need to go into the water, like this guy, else they're going to overheat. This is Klein seal colony on a very hot day. You can see all the seals have taken to the water. Now, when the pups are very small, if they're born a bit far back from the water, or they can't get to shade or anything like that, a lot of pups are going to die. We've estimated that up to 30% of the newborn pups die within the first month of birth, and a lot of that is usually due to heat exhaustion, at least in the large mainland colonies. Another threat faced by the seals on land is predation. It's not a very good photo, but you can see this brown hyena coming along and catching seal pups. Now these hyena can go along, and they're very wasteful feeders. Sometimes they'll kill up to 15 pups, just crushing their skulls as they go, but only take one off the beach. And I've actually crawled along a beach backwards photographing this as it happened. I need to find I didn't have a film in my camera at the end, so I can't show you those, but I got this one off the internet somehow. Another threat faced is at a young age is predation, obviously by the great whites, especially the colonies of the Southern Cape. So these pups have to learn that there's certain times of day when you don't want to be swimming. They have to learn that it's better to swim in a group than swimming on its own like this one, because if you're in a group, you've got less chance of being breakfast for a shark. Another threat, if you're born at a mainland colony in Namibia, is being hunted. Is obviously another source of big controversy. Now, this happens every year in about 3 colonies in Namibia, Cape Cross and Wolf Bay and Atlas Bay, and causes worldwide controversy. These protesters are protesting against the Canadian hunt. I think the difference between the two hunts is that the Canadian hunt, seals are more or less scattered over the ice, and the hunters go on the ice, and there's a lot of protest about the way they kill them. They club them, obviously. Clubbing also happens with the Cape fur seal, with the Cape fur seal hunts, but there's a lot more seals in one place, and they're older at the time when the hunt happens, so they're moving around. So the clubbing can be less effective. The other issue is the disturbance that is caused to those colonies, because they're going to the same colonies every year, day after day, for certain times of the year. So from a stress point of view, it's also quite a big issue. Then you also get researchers coming into the colonies. This one is, it's me actually, has caught this female, and what we do, put some instruments on its back, and this seal has just been, once we caught it, we put a mask over its face, we gave it some gas to anesthetize it so it passes out for a short while. We place some instruments on its back. When it comes back, after a few feeding trips, we catch it again and remove the same instruments. What it tells us is that the seals, like this female, in the blue is a female there, it's going to sea, it's feeding, and it's going back to land. It's tied to land by the fact that it's got a pup on the land, so it's going back and forth straight to feeding areas, in and out. It knows where the feeding areas are. And in red we have the males, which are after the breeding season. They don't have any time, they're not helping to rear the pups at all like the mothers, and they can go just about anywhere. We also pick up to put it politely, the scats of the animals in the colony to see what they're actually eating, and we take out the fish otoliths from the scats and actually quantify their diet, and you can see that they're eating horse mackerel and mixed aphids and gobies and sardine and hake and anchovy, and a lot of these animals, a lot of these fish are also fished by fisheries, commercial fisheries. So that means, sorry? Okay, I should have said that. Thanks. These are fish ear bones. Okay, they're the one part of the fish that doesn't necessarily digest in the diet. It goes right through because they're so hard and so dense, and we can actually get them out of the scat. They're a bit reduced in size from digestion, but we can identify them and make measurements.